clearly love you.
Yeah.
In the world of business, do men only respect the minds of women that exude masculine energy, logic, and pragmatism? Does that reinforce patriarchy? Yes, Brittany. Fuck. What? Yes, you got me. You got me. What do you mean? I need you to be logical. Like,
yes,
I can't. Don't talk to me about something that don't matter. Mm-hmm. However, I will say, it's a lot of niggas that be wanting to talk about shit that don't matter at all too. So I don't know if that's specific to just women or people. Like, I need you to understand this business is not personal. But a lot of times, especially in music and creativity, we spend a lot of time talking about niggas' feelings and shit, and it's just exhausting. Because I'm talking about something on paper where there's a formula for it. There's metrics that it can be measured by, and I gotta have a fucking conversation about your feelings, bro. You want if you want it to be feeling driven, make that shit in your house and accept the fact that you might not ever monetize a fucking cent from it. Cool, but leave me out of it because I'm pretty clear on the movement, what we're trying to build, and what you got to buy into. I don't really want to talk about your feelings. I don't want to talk about nothing that isn't in stride of the business. The wellness portion, again, this is where the pretending part kind of sets everything back. It's like, hey, if you start here, I'm not well, I subscribe to this, I think I deserve this, and like I can hear all the entitlement, but you didn't took me in around the ringer pretending that you're advanced and you hear about the business. As soon as the business shit get come up and your feelings and shit get challenged, now you are of no use, and are more likely to undermine the whole movement behind your punk ass feelings. Now I can't do nothing with you. That's for men and women, for me. So I don't know if that's specific to just women on my behalf, but that definitely is something in just a business space that I struggle with, for me.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, business and feelings don't do well at, coexisting. I don't think they really go too far together. So there is a level of pragmatism that's needed. More the merrier, more the better when it comes to business, because it's all calculations. Like, it's not like sit down and talk about how y'all feel about such and such taking place. You know what I mean? That's kind of where business is getting sullied, today with like social media and stuff like that. Like, a lot of shit spills over that was business wise gets spilled over into like, everybody to, have their opinions and feelings on. That's like I'll say that's like a subsection of business now. There's nothing like business now is trying to like figure out their footing and get their footing with like the possibility that so many things can get leaked out information wise, and people can have their opinions on it and have their think pieces, and then more people can chime in, and it could really damage a lot of the inner workings of what it is that you're trying to do or what you have been doing for whatever period of time. There's a good and there's a bad to that. You know what I mean? And everybody should probably think about their variation of that, because when you are lowest on the totem pole, that's when you want the most change to take place. But as you start to move up the ranks and end up, now you're in that top tier or in that upper echelon group. Now you want to temper down the change, right. temper down the change, and you end up being what it is that you hated in the first place. That's a part of business. You know what I'm saying? Like, the more business savvy you become, the more you're like, oh, you know what? Nigga, I see the time. I had some wild ass feelings before, bro. Like that shit I was talking about before. That shit is null and void now.
I was tripping.
That was from my angle, and that's how much information I had at that time. You know what I'm saying? Now I don't want that shit. That's not how we will be running things around here, and that's just like
right.
That's a commonality of that shit.
The more you know, the more you go, oh, this is in place for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, we gotta make sure more people don't know about this shit, because I
pay.
Fucking equal pay. That was a great conversation last week too. We need to bring that back up whenever Brit's around. But the idea on this one right here, though, I think that there is there is a place for all of the dynamics that women bring to the table with their ability to feel. You know what I mean? And have access to their feelings. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of place for that. It's just that it's a tough sell mixing it in with guys that don't have that part or don't want to tap into that when they're actually trying to do these type of things or whatever. But
what's mainly, sign me up for following behind a woman's intuition. Sign me up for that.
Sure.
If that's why we're here.
Mm-hmm.
The confusing part of it becomes when we're looking at this, and it's hey man, what's wrong with you? Nothing. And you keep asking me what's wrong with me until now. All right, now I'm just tired of saying nothing's wrong, and you trying to fight about something from 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out.
Yeah, don't take no mental tally on me, bro. Like you gotta let some shit fall by the wayside. Cause like if you were wrong this one time, whatever, and it happens with everybody. So if you're wrong, and then you keep that shit with you, whatever, and that becomes like a chip on your shoulder. That's cool, but not a reason to communicate this thing down the line when nobody's even thinking about that shit no more. Like that's a rough one.
Yeah. Because
that's men and women. I don't care who the fuck that is. Like, hey, if you was mad about some shit, bet. But if you didn't bring that shit up in a moment and you allow some time to pass, and now we some years down the line, and now you want to talk about some shit that happened, then all right, man.
No, but and then hey, I'm open to talking about it, but you just mentally try to finesse and whoop me into something being when it's not. It's an issue you got, which I'm totally open to, and it's like, well. Every time I try to bring it up, you get mad. It's like, nah, fam, I'm mad at it being brought up 6 months later.
Mm. And everybody has their ways, you know what I mean? Like I've been wronged in ways where it wasn't communicated or even put together at the time or whatever. Cool, and it wasn't a matter of that later on needing to come up.
Huh.
It's if I were like me putting a mental tally on that shit, it may change a relationship. Like it might be an adjustment in like, how you rock with an individual,
right?
Because you got to keep your head on the swivel when it comes to like how this person does their business or operates within these spaces. You keep that close to the chest or whatever, and they may never actually get a grasp on what it is that they did, and there doesn't need to be the conversation about it. It's just know that shit happened, you know what I mean? And I think that's a way that you can go about some shit. But I'm just not big on like the whole like, yeah. I mean, sometimes communication is important. I don't know, man.
Don't talk to me.
Man. My bad. I don't know, man.